What's up, guys? So I wanted to do a video here talking about how I choose the length of my skis in comparison with me and my skiing style. Let's start off with my stats. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", 160 pounds, and whenever they ask me my aggression level, I circle the 3. This is more or less a reflection of what I have here. Also, a little bit about my background, right? So I've worked as a ski instructor, I've worked in ski patrol, and I've also worked in ski guiding, and that's the main thing that I'm doing this next winter, is I'm transitioning to full-time ski guiding. And so that kind of also plays in a little bit into what I've chosen from my quiver. So this isn't all the skis that I have, but this is definitely representative of everything that, or the criteria I use for when I choose my skis. Because of my time in ski patrol, I kind of look for something different with my inbound skis versus out-of-bounds skis. And I have two examples right here. These two right here are backcountry skis, and these two are inbound skis. The whole point about this is really where I choose the length of my ski. If you are a beginner skier, then you do the whole like chin height, nose height sort of deal. And then you can look up the charts online. I think they have like intermediate, advanced, or whatever. All that is just kind of guidelines. And then you move into personal preference after that. There's probably a lot of exceptions to this rule within my personal setup and my quiver. I tend to, the more narrow the ski, the smaller I get, and the wider the ski, the bigger I get. And that's pretty obvious with this setup right here. So the most narrow ski I own is this one. This is the Rossignol Experience 82 Ti, and it is 168 centimeters. So I said I was like 5'9", 5'10"-ish. I'm about 173 centimeters. You can see it's the small. This is actually the smallest ski I happen to own in my quiver, just barely. This ski right here is 169, so it is 1 centimeter smaller. This is a full-on downhill oriented ski. You can see the Griffin right here. And if you feel the weight of it, you can tell it's obviously built for inbound skiing. This also happens to be one of the stiffest skis I own. All that kind of plays into why I chose the length. So obviously 82 underfoot, this is built for a carving ski. Groomer's carving ski. I have had to deal with this in knee-deep powder before a number of times, and they sink like hell, so I gotta really be in the back seat. But, which obviously isn't good technique. But they're not made for, you know, that sort of terrain. This is really for in the groomers or on icy days in rough terrain. I use these a lot for ski patrol, and all the other patrollers laughed at me for it. Some things I liked about this, what makes a good carving ski in my mind is, a big thing is the tail. You can see how this tail flares out, and really there's not a whole lot of rocker in this tail. So when I turn the ski on edge, that tail connects with the groove that's made by the tip of the ski, which also there really isn't that much tip rocker. And I can use the available edge of this ski is roughly, you know, from here all the way to right here. So even though it's a smaller length ski, you still get a ton of usable edge. And you'll see that the fatter skis, the wider skis, even though they're longer, you get less usable edge because of the early rise in the tip and the tail. So I really like this ski on groomer days and icy moguls type stuff. I use this a lot inbounds when it's not super deep. Moving on to the longest ski I own, and the funny part is, even though this is the fattest and widest ski I own, and this is the smallest and narrowest, this one is way heavier than this ski. So this is Woven Kingfish 120. Yeah, it's a really nice ski. And you can see I have just a lightweight, very lightweight tech binding on this. It's 120 underfoot. And it has actually this little fishtail thing on the side, which is kind of cool. This is 185, so you can see it towers over me. And so why'd I get such a long ski for this? That's mainly for flotation. This is a powder ski, 120, bottomless powder ski. Bring this to Japan, right? And so you just want flotation. And that's ultimately what I go for and why I chose this length of ski. It's also not so long as to inhibit something like a kick turn in the backcountry. I do have to, it's like harder than if I'm in like a smaller ski like that gray one there, but it's not impossible. Another thing to think about is when you are going into the backcountry, if you're new to skiing uphill, that is a skill you have to develop. So starting with smaller skis than you may ski inbounds is a good way to build up the skills that you need in order to skin uphill efficiently. Something like kick turns or rounded turns, or just being versatile on your skis in general, as well as having a smaller ski is also nice in certain backcountry terrain like really narrow couloir or a chute. Now inbounds, you just send it straight down the chute if you want. Whereas when you're in the backcountry and you're on lightweight touring gear, with more chatter, more feedback, just can't handle shredding as hard, that's when we start doing stuff like jump turns and who knows what else. So starting with a smaller ski to get used to those inbound transitions is really nice, and then you can move on to a longer ski. I've even heard about guys that are close to my height using like 194 or whatever. I don't want to go that far. This ski is only 1,500 grams for the length, and because it's made for powder, the usable edge is about right here, right? And then you have this major early rise tip, if I can do this without destroying anything. So it's starting about right here, I'd actually say, is where the contact point is, and you have this giant tip right here. So that is one thing, is obviously there is a lot more rocker in this, and you don't have as much available edge if you do have to go through a little bit of chunder or hard stuff. But in my world, this is a very specialized ski only for knee, thigh deep powder days in the backcountry. Kind of moving along with like when I'm buying a ski, I think, is it primarily backcountry or primarily front country? Obviously I will ski my backcountry skis inbounds. Like if I'm just want to ski at the resort and we got a ton of powder, I would totally bring this to the resort. But in general, my go-to lengths for an inbound heavy ski is going to be like 177, and my go-to length for out of bounds is probably going to be in that 169, 170 range. So there's that, you know, one step down. And there are a number of reasons I already talked about, like in a tight couloir or just weight. This is a good example. This is one of my main backcountry skis. This is the Wander Alpine 100, a Vital 100. It's full-on backcountry oriented. It is a bit heavier though. So this is 1,600 grams, I think, for a 100 underfoot ski. Whereas I said that this was 1,500, and I have the heavier binding on it versus the lighter one. So this is more or less, yeah, kind of ounce for ounce, a little bit heavier than that woven one, but I get to do more on this, right? So I can, if I'm in rough conditions, or if I'm in tighter, narrower stuff, or just firmer conditions where the ski is going to be more chattery, like a lightweight ski would be chattery, I have something that I can use in just more day-to-day type skiing. Elected to go with the 190 or 169 length, which you can see is about my height or something, or a little bit smaller. And instead of the 176, the 176 may have been more fun to ski downhill and stuff, but in order to save weight, I went with the thinner ski and to have a bit more backcountry versatility. So that's kind of the criteria there. Whereas when I'm choosing skis for inbounds, I'm all about just having fun. So a longer ski can oftentimes be a bit more fun. And that's why I have this ski right here. This is the M6 Mantra. And I have, it's actually a frame binding, but I've never actually toured with a frame binding before. So it's just like, to me, it's an alpine binding. I wouldn't hesitate to put like a Griffin on this ski, but either way, this is the 177 length. And I demoed this ski before I bought it, and this is new this year for me. But the cool part is I really did enjoy that 177 length. I enjoy the feeling of this ski. This one's also quite stiff, a very demanding ski with, you know, very slight rise in the tip, and then in the tail, same deal, very slight rise. So this ski is, like, you could say it is like a fun ski, but it's also kind of like a getting it done shredding ski. So I really like focused skis like this. And since I'm only really planning to ski this in the resort, so I went with the longer version. This ski, I think, is about a 2,000 gram ski without the binding. So you actually need some heft, you know, to drill it. And I really like using this for ski training in order to become a better skier. So hopefully just with those 4 skis, you could see my line of thought with the sizing in comparison with the width. To recap the whole thing, the fatter the ski, the longer I generally go. With thinner skis, I'll go longer if it's fun in the resort. Another example right here of a different ski. I'm hoping this will be my daily driver this season. But this is the Woven Harrier 108. 108 is not a bad size when you're skiing fun snow in the backcountry. And I got 177 on this because they're so light that I could get a bit of a wider ski, or longer ski, without losing out on weight. And yeah, it's meant for kind of that in-between condition, so I can kind of combine the fun of a more fun long ski with more lightweight ski guiding type stuff. And I've paired up a binding that works with that. Basically, the idea behind having this ski versus this ski for a day of ski guiding is conditions dependent. Most days you could roll with this one, and then you know, if it's just like light ski touring day, you know, mostly going for powder, but you have a little bit of this and that in there, even like fat powder, and I don't have these skis, then I can use this one more day to day. But if I'm going for more of like an objective, like a specific couloir or a feature that we're going to ski, I may choose this one because it fits the situation better. And then also with conditions, right? If it's more icy, I go with this one. If it's more chundery, then I can go with this one. If it's more floater, I can go with this. Thinking about it from a guiding perspective, if I'm ski guiding 15 to 20 days a month, I'm focused a lot on kind of those lighter weight skis in order to help save myself throughout a full season. So hopefully that helps you guys with deciding kind of what you want with your skis. That's how I chosen to size my skis over the past few years of skiing. I don't think I'm going to go really much higher than a 185. I think I'm pretty happy with that length, especially for a lightweight backcountry ski. All mostly comes down to personal preference and your experience with your skis, and how much you kind of prefer the smaller. Some people just prefer smaller skis, so that's more power to you. I kind of like that 177 is really my favorite number based on what I ski and where I am. So that's kind of my preferred ski length. I've kind of built my quiver around that. So if you have any other thoughts or questions, please leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on climbing or skiing. Check out, or stay tuned. I'm hoping to have a ton of winter videos coming out soon, once we finally get some snow instead of just rain. And yeah, just happy to have you as part of the channel. So please like and subscribe and share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.